going over Detroit Lions news and rumors for you folks today. That's what it's all about. We're going to go over some bold predictions from the legacy media. Power rankings, where are the Detroit Lions? Now we're all fully in the offseason. We're going to get into that. Hendon Hooker, could he be a potential trade bait for the Lions? Could the Lions make trade moves to beef up this team? Going over the latest news, let's get it started. Quick question here for you. Where do you rank the Detroit Lions in the power rankings? We start right now for this up-and-coming season. I'm going to show you what the media has here for the Detroit Lions. Where are they in the power rankings if the season is now finally over here? ESPN has them ranked third in the NFL. Says in the aftermath of the loss to the Commanders, Dan Campbell star-studded staff took a major hit. The adjustment of the short winner to compete for the Super Bowl. Their offensive coordinator, new John Morton of Broncos passing coordinator previous 2 seasons, promoted linebackers Kelvin Shepard to defense. So they still have the Detroit Lions sitting at third best in the NFL. I was quite shocked when I seen these polls. I'm not going to lie, I thought it would be worse. I thought the Lions would be dropped down much farther for legacy media. That was not the case. The Athletic has the Lions sitting at 4 right there. Again, it's a great spot if you ask me. Fox Sports has 2. Now, I love it. I love seeing these high power rankings, but my power rank's a little bit different from these guys. Yahoo Sports got 5th best in the NFL. I think that's a good spot to put Detroit right now, considering, you lose in the playoffs. Now we have a new OC. We have a new DC. There's going to be a little bit of, I think, configuring at the beginning of the season. So I think 5th is a good one there. Sporting News has got 7th best in the NFL. And I got to keep it a buck. I'm not going to get upset about any of these power rankings because we don't even know what's going on in free agency yet. We don't know what's going on in the draft. It is all speculation. But I think top 10 for sure. No doubt about it. I think 5 is a good spot. But where do you guys got the Detroit Lions in the power rankings? 1, if you think they're the best. 32, if you were a Vikings fan. Let's go ahead and continue on here. And ESPN analyst mentions former Tennessee Vols, Detroit Lions quarterback Hendon Hooker's potential starting option in 2025 for the New York Jets. Now, as soon as he became the head coach of the Jets, Aaron Glenn, that is, I speculated that could be a spot because you looked at Aaron Rodgers. He's no longer going to be there. It probably wouldn't take a lot to get him via trade compensation. The Jets are sitting at the 7th pick in the draft. Hendon Hooker makes a lot of sense. They probably get him for a 3rd-round pick, and he's 27 years old, or a player for that instance. And I think that this is possible. Now, it really, it all depends if Aaron Glenn actually likes Hendon Hooker, right? But you're getting some of the Lions staff there. Makes 1,000,000% sense. And this is what Hasselbeck says. I'll throw it out there, a different name Hasselbeck says. With Aaron Glenn being there and the things that have gone to Detroit, is Hendon Hooker available? Is there a way to get Hendon Hooker in the house? If for some reason people that are around Aaron, Detroit, felt like he is somebody that can turn into a starting quarterback. Yeah, and Jets is not the ideal situation for quarterbacks to thrive, and he's a mobile quarterback, so it makes sense. In my opinion, I think this would make great sense. Now, again, the Lions, they could do that. Or you just sit back, let Hendon Hooker be your backup quarterback for the cheap. It's a win-win situation. When we draft Hendon Hooker, this is what I always talked about. You can utilize him as your backup, and you can use him as draft capital if things worked out with Goff and all that type of stuff. That's what the Lions have done in this situation. So I think it's great. I don't know if he gets traded. He could. Maybe he doesn't. Either way, the Lions are sitting pretty, I think, in both of those situations. So this rumor has been floating around, and I think it's a good speculation. It's not like a legit rumor. You're not hearing it right from insiders or anything like that, but it's speculation that does make sense. So this is something that we could see going forward. So we got some bold predictions from our friend Doc, John Macaron over there. Shout out to him. Make sure you listen to the article here. He explained, or he didn't say this, but the article is written. He's talking about that in here. Sports Illustrated writer thinks that the Lions still going to win the NFC North. You can read it all there. New look Lions offense run the North. So John Morton, Lions' new offensive coordinator. I think it's going to be fine. The offense will be fine. Here's the thing. I think it's going to start off a little bit slow. I do. Why? It's a new scheme. You know, you got people coming in places. This happens a lot when you get a new offense or a new defense. And generally speaking, offenses are a little bit slower when you're going into the new new scheme. We've seen it with other teams. So I stress patience here. And you got to understand that the NFC North is really tough, right? You got the Packers, Bears, who just got Ben Johnson. Obviously, the Vikings went 14 wins. So I still think the Lions going to win the NFC North. I don't know about run a rough shot or anything like that. I think it's going to be difficult to go 15-2 this year. I think the expectations should be down a little bit because the competition is better, and the Lions did lose some coordinators. But I still think the Lions should win the NFC North. Where do you have the Lions in the power rankings? Maybe you think differently. Do you think maybe you think they're not going to be good? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. 7 new free agents. This come from A to Z Sports. And by the way, I am working on new graphics. This is why I'm doing the screen share today. I've actually been working on graphics all morning. That's why this video is a little bit late dropping out. So just FYI, you're going to have better graphics here in a couple days. Off season, want to start anew. 7 free agents of talking about players connected with their new coaches. So let's go through the list here. John Morton connected with Jordan Humphreys over there from Denver. If you can't get a Tim Patrick, you get we can maybe look elsewhere like in free agency. Tim Patrick also familiar with who? This offense. I mean, they could do a Jordan Humphreys who's familiar with it right now, but you bring Tim Patrick in. He's familiar with John Morton. He was over there for Denver. Just bring him back. Look, if they want to get another wide receiver, great. But let's go ahead and look for our own guys at the wide receiver position first, in my opinion. Zach Wilson, this is the idea that you trade Hendon Hooker. I'm not a fan of Zach Wilson at all, but for a backup role, I have no problem if that's a route they would like to go. You still got Teddy Bridgewater, but we got Hendon Hooker, so this would be the idea of trading Hooker. Okay, so would you guys want to have Hendon Hooker or Zach Wilson? Hendon Hooker in a third-round pick? Would you like to have Hendon Hooker as a backup or Zach Wilson in a third-round pick? Let me know your thoughts. Just thought about that. Casey Rogers Casey Rogers is the new edge there. You got Anthony Nelson. Yeah. Look, I think the Lions, they need to get edge. I think we need to focus strictly. I feel like a lot in the draft. If you're wanting to get a pass rush or go for a Khalil Mack or make a trade, obviously, for Myles Garrett. But, look, you want to get some of these guys, fine. Our new offense here, Bruce Gradkowski, new quarterbacks coach here. He's got going Hakeem Butler for a wide receiver. Again, I told you before, don't need to relate it. Tim Patrick, it makes the most sense. Just Paul Adebo for David Shaw. Now, I like a Paul Adebo here. We lose Carlton Davis. He's 25 years old. Put him on this defense. I don't know if that's going to be – he's going to get chased because he is younger, and that's a little bit of the problem. So, because we got Ennis Rakestraw. We obviously we draft Terrion Arnold. We got Amik Robertson. So are they going to go for a younger guy here? May cost a little bit more. Question mark, but I would love to have – if we can't get Carlton Davis back, Adebo would be there. Mills, I'm not a big fan of Mills. I would rather simply just go ahead and draft a quarterback. Is an undrafted, not even draft, no, undrafted free agent. But yeah, Mills, he's a free agent for the Houston Texans. I really didn't. I would rather go Teddy Bridgewater personally, but he's an option as well for the team. But you look at all these options, Mills, Adebo is the most sense here, right? If you don't get Tim Patrick back, I think John Morton would be an option. Those are things that the Lions could look at for free agency. You notice not big names, though. I would like to have a stronger name at edge. That's really about it. For free agency, though, let's get a lot of our guys back that we do like the Tim Patricks of the world, right? The Derek Barnes, I'd love to get him back. I don't know if that's possible. those type of players. I'd like to get those guys back. Let's go. We have another trade prediction next. But, question, before we do this trade, would you trade for Maxx Crosby? Why for yes and for no? I don't even know. I forget who this is even about. So I just figured it could be Maxx Crosby. I don't know. Let's see here. Nope, it was about Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett spoke and says, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make the trade happen. Garrett told ESPN's Teddy Bruschi, I watched it. I want to have a chance to win the big names out there, and player, teammate, as leader, just come to an immediate effect. Garrett has demanded a trade out of Cleveland. Should be interesting suitors. He wrote, as Lions try to win now or Super Bowl closes, it's a great time to add Garrett, opposite of Hendon Hutchinson. No, I agree 100% with Yard Barker. Look, because I seen one with Mac. You're going to see Maxx Crosby. You're going to see the Myles Garrett. We're going to be seeing this all the way until it happens, right? But damn it. If we can get it done, we can get it done. Do it. Right? To have a Myles Garrett opposite of Hendon Hutchinson, if our offense does start out slow, our defense can at least hold the fort down in the beginning. And imagine having this defense like the Eagles did, right? They just absolutely destroyed Mahomes with the front four. That's what we've been asking in Detroit for years here. Years. You have asked it. We have talked about it. We have not gotten it. This offseason, get the edge position taken care of. Garrett does seal the deal. If you can do it, do it, Brad Holmes. And I know he's trying, guys, so I'm not mad at Brad Holmes, but we need to get an edge. There is no more waiting for this position. This must get taken care of. If you want the Lions to win, you have to get pass rush. We cannot deny it anymore. Garrett would solve the problem. Folks, let me know your thoughts in the comments. With that said, adios.